in the normal game and what we did until recently is, so you're here, you're in the castle, and you're supposed to go here, and you're on this bridge, and the king makes the bridge collapse, and you fall in the dungeon. Realize your warning, spoilers, your dad is dead, and climb up. Oleg opens the door, and you go fight the king. That's what we did for a long time in the speedrun. And however, if you want to come back here like I did, the developers have set a little tunnel here. And for a very long time we knew about the blink bounce, you know, the thing we did for the Winter Garden skip or the Force skip, for example, where when you blink on an enemy and it makes you fly high in the air. And so we always tried to do it to reach that little hole in the ceiling. The problem with the guard is that when you blink inside them, you die. Like, I will do it here. If I just do that, I blink and I die. You see, I could do a little blink bounce. The character was flung in the air, but I die. And, well, obviously, if I die, I respawn at my checkpoint and I cannot continue. So even with being able to blink bounce, we couldn't use that shortcut for a very long time. And the only setup until the ending of 2021 that was known was like something like this, because so you lure the guard, and if you fall fast enough on a guard, you can kill it. It's an intended mechanic of the game, but not a lot of people know this. So let me show you here. See, I landed on the head of the guard with enough speed to kill it. And so what we did for a long time, what we tried to do for a long time was, wait, what was the setup again? You lure the guard here. Wait, like this. You climb here, and something like this, and you try to blink inside the guard while having enough speed. But it's a very blind setup. It's really hard, it's quite random. Like something like this, you blink, and yeah, I just can't do it because it's very random, very hard, it's very atrocious. Oh my god, so yeah, here I did it by sheer luck, and I didn't even went high enough, because that's a thing with the blink bounces. Your blink timing is your height and your speed depends on your blink timing. And here, even with by sheer luck, I managed to land the blink without dying, because you really don't have a lot of speed here. I just couldn't do it. A lot of RNG? Yeah. Well, basically it's not really RNG because there's no random involved, but it's very blind and precise. And for a very long time, we just didn't do that in a run, because it's at the end of the run, and even though it saves like 1 minute if you do it, you gain 1 minute. That's also why my goal is to sub 18, even though the world record is 19 something, well, 1909, we just did it. Technically, the old world record was 1820, and it didn't have the dungeon skip. And the dungeon skip saves 1 minute. So nobody did that because it was just horrid. And I started in the last year, I started doing runs and trying to do it again and again blindly. And it was depressing because I didn't get it once in 100 runs. And I finally discovered a new setup. And the new setup, to explain it, so when you kill a guard with the Teslastuff, there are some frames where the hitbox of the guard is still active. So technically, you could shoot with your staff and blink inside the guard while the hitbox is still active. So basically, you could do something like this. Oh my god, I did it with the pauses. Whoa, that was crazy. But it's really precise because it's nearly frame perfect. And what makes it even harder is that I need to Teslastuff and blink. But if you look at my inputs at the bottom of the screen, if I hit the blink button, it doesn't blink because you cannot blink while using the staff. So what you have to do is your staff, release, and blink. Another setup that you can do is staff going to the left, because going to the left cancels the Teslastuff, and blink, because you can blink while you go to the left. So basically, you can blink left, staff left blink. And you have to do this in like 4 frames. So you have 3 inputs to do in 4 frames. So you only have 1 loose frame to do it. And so basically the new setup was you place yourself like on the vertical black bar here. You wait for the guard to be right here. And you staff left blink. Another thing I didn't mention about the dungeon skip, why it's so horrid, is that you only have 1 shot at it. Because you do it on the guard that is normally here, but this guard doesn't respawn. And if you want to train that, you have to go all the way back here, spawn the guard here, and luring them to this room, which in a run is way too slow to gain any time. So that's also why it's so horrible to do the dungeon skip. It was really painful, really blind, and you only have 1 shot at it. So yeah, about that new setup. As usual, you lure the guard. And the first thing to note is that when the guards have 2 animations when they follow you. They have the running animation right here. And once they are close enough, they have this animation where they try to grab Tesla Kid. So the grab animation. And I will use the grab animation as a visual cue. So, first step, you lure the guard, and second step, you place yourself right on that black bar here. You have a black thing here, and you have to be around that area, a bit before, like this. Now, this guard you have lured, at some point, will enter his grab animation because you are close enough. And the first visual cue will be that red curtain. So the goal is to pause buffer until the finger is right before that red line, that red curtain. If the finger are after, so on the right of the curtain, like here, for example, it will be too late and the setup won't work. So the finger will be a bit before the red curtain. So I will pause buffer to bring the guard in that grab animation and at this position. And to do so, I will pause buffer. The way I personally pause buffer is by alternating the pause and the map, like this. Map, pause, map, pause, map, pause. It's not perfect. You cannot really do a perfect pause buffer anyway, but I find this easier than just doing 2 pauses. So here the guard is in its grab animation, and so now you will have to watch for the hand. So this is a bit too far. Still too far. This is good and maybe a bit too late. You really want the fingers to be a little bit before the curtains. I will still try this, but let's see if I manage to do it. Now, the goal is to kill the soldier with a Teslastuff, release the Teslastuff, and blink. And to do these 3 inputs, we have 4 frames. So it's really hard to do in real time. So to do this, to have better chance to do it, I will still use the pause buffer, because when you are in a pause like this and you hold an action, the game will perform this action when you unpause. So I will continue the pause buffer, but while holding the Teslastuff. So here I held the Teslastuff, it shot and hit the guard. Now I need to have 1 frame where I release it, because you cannot Teslastuff and blink directly. So, okay, that's good. And now I will hold blink and unpause. And that's it. Oh, I have to... That was it. I just held the blink button because I was not paying attention. And since I have my EBH key on left EBH and right EBH, I really have to think to release the blink key. But that's basically the setup. So let me do it again. A bit faster. So I lure the guards. I place myself near that first black bar. Okay, I see the guard entering the grab animation, so I pause and I pause buffer. It's a bit too far. Okay, that's good. I think this is a good distance. So now I hold the Teslastuff and pause buffer. That seems good. Release the Teslastuff, pause buffer. Hold blink, pause. And that's it. Let me do it again with the second guard. Grab animation, I pause. Pause buffer, that's good. Here, we didn't, that was a frame perfect pause buffer. We didn't even hear the Teslastuff, but I held it, so it's good. Pause buffer, again to release it, and I hold the blink and unpause. As you can see, I had it 3 times out of 3. It requires a little bit of training, but really, really consistent. Also, so that was a frame perfect Teslastuff I did. So if you see the death animation of the guard, it's when you had a 2-frame pause buffer, meaning that you really need to be tight on your next pause buffers. Let's do it again, now with normal speed, how I do it in runs. Okay, that's too late. So in a run, that's a reset. I'm badly placed, but let's see. Yeah, I was badly placed because I was not I was a bit surprised by the speed of the guard, but yeah. As you can see, it's still not free. I do it again. I will do a couple of times and you take the clip you want. But yeah, as you can see, it's still not free, and I still lost some runs to it. But it's way more consistent. The harder part now is to have a good post buffer. Maybe let's try like this, I don't know. Here we don't see the death animation of the guard, so that's a frame perfect post buffer, and I didn't blink because I'm a bit bad. Maybe. Yeah. So yeah, you can really have the guard's hands far before the curtains. It doesn't need to touch it. If you can have a little gap between the hands and the curtains, that's perfect. Maybe a bit late, let's see. No, that's still good, still good. Yeah, that was a little bit late. And I was not positioned properly here, I think. It's not free, but now it's closer to Oleg post buffering. Is that yellow? Yep. Still harder than Oleg post buffering, but yeah, it's really, really good. I found that setup recently, and with a little bit of practice, I have it like 55% of the time. So let's say with the stress of having a good run. In fact, the hard part of this setup is doing the frame buffer from the pause menu to the map menu. Because if you are too early, like here I'm on the map menu, if I'm too early on my pause, you see you can still pause while watching the map. So it's still okay. You can save that. However, if you push map too early while doing the pause buffer, here you see I push map, and it's not like an action where you can buffer it. If I hold the map button and unpause, the map don't come. So if I'm too early from the map, so from the pause to the map, if I'm too early to press map, the map input won't count, and basically that's like this, you know, I just unpause and the setup is ruined. So that's the hardest part. But let's try this. There is a big gap between the two, but let's try. Yeah, it's still good. You see, it's really, really free now. Well, not free, but really consistent. I mean, there is everything. There are visual cues, timing cues. Well, pause buffering. So, not the timing is quite loose because you see you can do it when the hands are touching the curtain or way before, so it's not hard to do. Maybe this, let's try. Yeah, even this. So yeah, it's a really, really good setup. And that's one of the reasons I stream again. Oh, maybe? Without pause buffering? Yeah. And if you time your pause correctly, like I did there, you just have to, you know, like tack, 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 which is still fast. Obviously, it's not faster. It's not as fast as, well, doing the setup, you know, the ta ta ta. You lose 1 or 2 seconds, but I mean, I only missed it like a couple of times. So yeah, that's just a really cool setup.